What if Michael Jordan played in the modern NBA? Now, I'm not the first person to make a video like this. Far from the first, gonna be far from the last. But I think this video is a bit different from those other videos that you probably have seen about this. This isn't a 2K career simulation. I'm not even using 2K at all. This isn't like, general, like, what it could be, kind of talking generally. This is more of a story in a way, and the story is based off pure speculation from me. I'm not going to go into too much depth about butterfly effect and things like that, because I'm going to be focusing mostly on him and not how he changes things. So don't expect too much. This isn't a video like that at all. This is what I think his career would be like if he grew up to play in the modern NBA. And I think the perfect place to start is when he would be born. I have Michael Jordan being born on February 17th, 1996. This is the same year that guys like D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker were born, so I think it's enough, because it gives them enough time, and it's giving him at least 5 years in the NBA. And we're going to start with high school. Michael Jordan would be a late bloomer. He was a 5'11" in his sophomore year of high school, which is actually the same height I was in high school, and he played on the JV team. But over the summer, going into his junior year, MJ would grow like 4 inches, and he would become a 6'5" shooting guard. And once he got to the varsity team, he became dominant, and it caught the attention of scouts, it caught the attention of recruits, and he became one of the best players in the country. And entering his senior year at LAKEY High School, he would be ranked as the number 1 shooting guard in the country, ahead of D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker. And it would be because of his size, his skill, and the fact that he had a great summer where he averaged 27 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, and 5 assists per game for the CP3 All-Stars on the Nike EYBL circuit. And overall, he would be ranked the second best player in the country behind Whitney Young's Jahlil Okafor. He had offers from schools like Duke, North Carolina, South Carolina, Syracuse, and Virginia. And of course, he would choose to play at North Carolina, joining 5-star recruits Theo Pinson, Justin Jackson, and Joel Berry. Now, it's rare for someone to go to North Carolina and be a star as a freshman. It really was something that didn't really happen. A lot of the best UNC players weren't one-and-done guys. Go throughout history and look at them, even Michael Jordan in the past timeline. But in this current timeline, Michael Jordan became a rare exception. He was a rare breed. He was a freshman like UNC has never seen before, and UNC was getting top guys throughout its history. And with Michael Jordan, he became a starter right away, and he became the team's best player. He averaged 20 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, and 4 assists per game in his freshman year at North Carolina. He would lead North Carolina far in the tournament, but would eventually lose to Duke in the Final Four. This would only motivate Michael Jordan, though, having seen how far he could go, and it really just pissed him off, and it really just used it, and it became a motivator for him. But of course, after a great freshman season in the modern NBA, and based off the way NBA basketball has been going, Michael Jordan wouldn't stay. He would declare for the 2015 NBA draft. Now, entering the 2015 NBA draft, Michael Jordan was viewed as one of the 3 best prospects in the draft. Of course, many thought that he would not fall further than outside of the top 3. Like, maybe that would be a rare case. The Minnesota Timberwolves held the first overall pick, and while many believe that Michael Jordan was the best prospect in the draft, Andrew Wiggins was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Andrew Wiggins had shown a lot of potential in his rookie year, and adding a player that many viewed to be a similar type of player in Michael Jordan, many thought that would be counterproductive. So the Minnesota Timberwolves would take Karl Anthony Towns from Kentucky with the first overall pick. Now moving on to the second overall pick, many believed at the time in the original draft that D'Angelo Russell was the second best player, the third best player in that draft, and he went second overall. But in this new timeline, with another guard that many viewed to be better than D'Angelo Russell was in college, Michael Jordan becomes the second overall pick in the 2015 NBA draft. Yes, in this new timeline, Michael Jordan becomes the heir apparent to Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan would average around 21 points per game, like 6 rebounds per game, and 4 to 5 assists per game in his rookie year. So like 47% from the field, 33% from 3, like 82% from the line, something like that in his rookie year. I think he would win rookie of the year because I do think that he would impact winning more than Karl-Anthony Towns did in his rookie year. Who they draft if they don't get that second pick, I think that they're in the range to draft a guy Jamal Murray or Chris Dunn. That's just speculation though. So we'll go with Chris Dunn because I do think that he doesn't necessarily take anything away from Michael Jordan with his play, because I do think that the defense and the playmaking of Chris Dunn is something that's underrated. I think that he would be a player that would have been a lot better had he not ended up in Minnesota in that horrible situation. So again, I think he ends up being a Marcus Smart kind of guy alongside Michael Jordan. And in Michael Jordan's second season in the NBA, I believe he gets better. I think that in his second season, he would average 26 points per game, like 6 rebounds a game again, 5 assists per game. I shoot again, like probably closer to 48% from the field. Probably shoot around like 35% from 3 and like 84% from the line. I don't think they get their pick, honestly, because I do think Michael Jordan would have them better than the odds that they had in the lottery to begin with in 2017. So they don't get Lonzo Ball. They don't even get their pick, honestly. So it doesn't really matter. They don't make the trade, obviously, for that pick that they used to get Kyle Kuzma, because the player that they traded to get that pick was D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell isn't on the team. Michael Jordan took his spot, and I don't think that they would trade their franchise cornerstone for the 27th overall pick. So that trade never happened. And Michael Jordan honestly has his breakout year in the upcoming season, the third season of his career. I believe that he would average around 28 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, shoot around 50% from the field, 33% from 3, like 84% from the line again. And I think that they're close to the playoffs, but I don't think that they're necessarily a playoff team. Now, I don't know what happens with their pick, honestly, because I don't know if it gets conveyed because of the fact that it got conveyed early. So we'll give them the pick. I think that they're close. I think that they have like the 11th pick, the 11th to 12th pick. We'll say number 11, and that gives them a perfect opportunity because I believe that there are players that they could use in this range. And I have them going with, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a player that, again, I've said multiple times, that can fit any system, fit any mold. He has the size to play 1, 2, and 3. Michael Jordan also has the size at this point probably to play 1, 2, or 3. So I do think that there is a world where it works, and I think having Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on that team could help, help take some of the load off Michael Jordan. I think that would be a perfect complementary option. So they get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the 11th overall pick, and in the very next year, Michael Jordan, I believe they make the playoffs finally. Michael Jordan at this point has exploded onto the scene, and I think Michael Jordan in his 4th year would have the best year of his career, and average 32 points per game, like 6 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, shoot around 50% from the field, 34% from 3, 83% from the line. And I think it would be great for him, honestly, to be in that situation. And he becomes the face of Los Angeles basketball. And also, remember, LeBron isn't on the team. I think LeBron stays in Cleveland because, obviously, you know what I mean by that. Like, he's not going to go to LA if Michael Jordan's there, in my opinion. And the reason I don't think he would go is, simply because, when LeBron went there wasn't an established franchise cornerstone in LA. Ingram wasn't looking like it. Lonzo wasn't looking like it. Kuzma wasn't looking like it, obviously. But with Michael Jordan, you do have a guy that they're looking to build around, and I think that they would rather build around Michael Jordan than bringing LeBron. So LeBron probably stays in Cleveland, or ends up somewhere else. But I think that the only other option would be Cleveland. I think he would just stay in Cleveland, and we get to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Michael Jordan grow together as a duo. I think that they become a really fun duo to watch, and it begs the question of what happens moving forward. Does Paul George end up on the Clippers? Where does Kawhi end up if Paul George doesn't end up on the Clippers? Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a huge part of that trade. Although I do think that honestly, they would just trade whoever the Clippers took in the lottery that wasn't Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that Paul George trade. But that's something else to think about. And entering the final year, I think Michael Jordan would be off to an historic start, averaging 35, putting up some Harden type numbers, honestly. And of course the season got canceled, so we don't know. But through 5 years, I think Michael Jordan would be maybe we'll say 4-time All-Star, make 2 All-NBA first teams, 1 All-NBA third team, make 3 All-Defensive first teams, and win Rookie of the Year. But that's all I really gotta say. This was just fun for me. I just wanted to give my thoughts about what Michael Jordan would be like and what I think Michael Jordan would be like. Now, this isn't what I think should happen based off this and that. This is just what, in my mind, what I would imagine Michael Jordan being if he was born in 1996. I think it's interesting to see how he would play out with the Lakers and the media scrutiny he would be under for every little thing he did. I think it would be interesting to see what it would have been like if he came out as a one-done or he played on EYBL circuits. I think all of that would be so interesting. But yeah, that's all I really had to say. If you enjoyed, thank you. If you made it to this point in the video, obviously it meant a lot to me because this was just something I had a lot of fun doing. But with that being said, have a nice day. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. It means so much to me, guys. You guys don't understand. But again, thank you. Like and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to leave feedback in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.